Hello, hello, and what is up? Okay, you guys. Um, a quick little update, you guys. We have reached affiliate over on Twitch. So all of you guys that are not following me over on Twitch, head on over there. I'm doing all the crafty things. I'm doing all the artsy, crafty things over there. And we hit affiliate. So we have all of these super cool kind of things coming in. And yeah, but as for today's video, today we're gonna dive back into Pinterest boards. We're gonna kind of talk about them a little bit more in depth compared to some of like my other videos, and then I'm gonna kind of like give you a little advice. Like, what are we doing with these? Are they just sitting here? Because sometimes they are just sitting here, and I feel that we need to actively do something with them. So let's get into it. Okay, so you guys, if you're not following me, this is my Pinterest here. And I have many and many different Pinterest boards all ranging for different things. So, let's first kind of, we'll dive into why would you make a Pinterest board? What is it kind of needed for? Okay, hi, hello. So what would you need a Pinterest board for? What's kind of helpful? Like what are we doing? So Pinterest boards can really be for anything. I use most of my Pinterest boards for basically inspo boards. I have one specifically for the game Palia that I play and stuff like that. And it has pictures of kind of other people's creations as inspo. I have other Pinterest boards for like if I ever had a future house, what I want different kind of rooms to look like and aesthetics. I have Pinterest boards just straight up for references. And then I have Pinterest boards like for food, for clothes. So you kind of want to narrow it down as to what do you need the most. So if you're gonna go honestly, which is why I love Pinterest, if you're gonna go with anything along the lines of something that you could either buy or kind of take another kind of ouch route towards. So that would be like any sort of clothing, decor, or food. Um, Pinterest is going to be really great for that because there's a shop now kind of tab in there. So you can go in there and you can add stuff to your Pinterest board that will have a link of like, okay, here's where you buy this now. You don't always have to add that stuff in. I don't personally. I just add stuff in for like the vibes and the aesthetics and what I'm kind of feeling in the moment and stuff like that, which is pretty great. And then on the lines of food, a lot of people when they post their food pics and stuff like that, they will have the recipe in the caption or linked to like the website where it came from, their website, whatever. So there's also that. I also another kind of reason to create a Pinterest board is for a vision board. I have created now two vision boards total. The first one I ended up, if you guys saw in one of my previous videos, I ended up kind of printing it out and I made a physical copy. I loved that. I can't do that all the time, obviously, because one, I have nowhere to put it, and two, like the ink, the paper, it's not sustainable. It's not really good. Um, in my kind of eyes. So you can create a vision board on here. You can create a Pinterest board that's just for that. And you can name these whatever you want. So that's kind of like the uses for a Pinterest board is to gather inspo, set names and kind of sections for each little bit of inspo where you're kind of looking for something. And then as you go through certain Pinterest boards, once you get to the bottom of the Pinterest board, it'll give you like a little tab that says more or something like that, or ideas like this, and then you can kind of keep going from there. So if you have like a vision of like this boho goddessy plants solarium whatever place, then you can go down and you can add more, which I really love. So now let's get into what do I do with this Pinterest board. Okay, so we're back here. I'm gonna go up to you guys, we're gonna go to let's go to just my regular fashion Pinterest board. We love this. 363 pins total. Um so kind of I already showed you guys how to basically build your Pinterest board. That's in another video. Feel free to go check that out. So you have all of this, and what do you do? What do you do with all of the stuff that you've just compiled onto this Pinterest board? And here's where you're going to break it down. So, we'll go for fashion specifically right now, and then we can dive into some of the other categories. For fashion, you want to look and see what are the things that you have pulled that keep coming up. So, if I'm looking at this, I can already see silver jewelry is a big thing. There's like these kind of muscle tank tops, a lot of jewelry. I'm seeing quite a bit of like vest situations on here. If I'm looking at colors, the color green and like brown and kind of earthy tones is also kind of coming up. I'm also seeing like some boots along here, Converse, stuff like that. Even some solid basics. So you want to kind of look at, I even have a color palette right here we love. Um, so you want to look at what are the basics, like what is showing up either the most or what's kind of the most basic pieces, and that's how you want to build everything off. Now, this is specifically towards fashion. We'll get into some other kind of things later, but looking for some basics. So if we're looking, there was a lot of those tank tops and a lot of vests. So maybe when I go out thrifting and stuff like that, as we're building my dream Pinterest board come to life, I will look for some more of those, or even look for t-shirts that I can DIY myself, cut up into that. Maybe looking into like this one is a knitted it's a knitted vest. So maybe I look into a pattern for a more oversized, kind of long, drapey knitted vest. Maybe I start looking at some more linen-y pants. I start searching for some silver stainless steel jewelry. That's what you kind of want to pick out. Is you want to pick out the prominent things that are really sticking out to you out of this board that you've created, and start slowly adding them in. Now, if you're kind of starting your wardrobe from scratch, I would highly recommend going to the basics, the tank tops, having at least a solid pair of denim or other pants that kind of work as a kind of capsule wardrobe that can work for anything. Looking at a solid pair of shoes, whatever you have it, maybe finding like the right accessory, the right type of thing. Like basic tank tops I have on here, a lot of like black tank tops, little tops. I've pinned some kind of color palette esque that I want to kind of evolve my wardrobe around and into. Um, and yeah, that's kind of where you're starting out. You'll start out with the basics and what's kind of sticking out the most. Like this sticks out probably the most out of everything. Like I'm always looking for rings, specifically silver jewelry, silver kind of staples that work for everything. So every time I go thrifting, I look, I see, okay, is there something like even this here? I would never embroider that myself because I'm not a fan of embroidery, but maybe I could paint something like that on. Like this one says visit site, so that one is an Etsy thing. But yeah, that's what you want to do is you want to look and see, okay, what are these things? Is this something like this? Is it something that I can make myself? Or do I need to go thrift it? Is it something maybe like some of the tank tops that I own, I've either gotten from my work, from Target, from other places, because it's a basic staple that buying it fresh, brand new is going to last a lot longer through all of the wear and tear than maybe thrifting it sometimes. Shoes I always try to buy brand new just cuz. But yeah, that's kind of what you're going to do with a fashion kind of board is you'll start there and then you can add all the fun pieces like this and getting into, even I have some things saved for outfit inspo too. Like get into all the funky stuff. Maybe then you start adding color you start doing some crazy, outrageous prints and other things. But yeah, let's get into some of the other categories. So we'll go in order. So next, I guess, will be art. I have a lot of different art kind of Pinterest boards saved up. And what do you do with all these references? Like, I have all of these references saved, and what do I do with them? So first off, I'll go through and in my head kind of categorize some of this stuff. Okay, why did I save this, that, and the third? Like, why do I have all of these mushrooms kind of saved? Because I wanted to do another kind of art piece almost similar to like this or something. Like I wanted to do another painting or something of that sort. Okay, well, then you gotta kind of it. So figure out kind of which medium or which kind of substance speak. Get back into colored pencil. Okay, well then maybe you take some of these references and add color to them or something and make it colored pencil. So you really want to like so much. I could keep going and going and going, and like some of these are even like highly detailed and stuff like that, but you want to go through and for this kind of focus on that and do something kind of less detailed, kind of cutesy. That's what you got to these boards, like art related, craft related, or something. Like, hey, what goals am I kind of working towards? Or my what do I want to do and stuff like that. And that's basically gonna be it. And then once you figure out basically, because some of these even not out, leave the references on. You don't have could come that line. Or, that's probably for more artsy boards is to figure out what feeling, what do we want to dive into. I want to get into more detail, and that's what you have to kind of sort out as you're making is you go through and you sort out, okay, I have this, that, and the third. Well, what do I want to do with this? What do I want to do with that? And then you just start. You could start top to bottom, bottom to top. You could just pick a random image out of there. Like, oh, let's have this, do this, that, and the third. Now, let's maybe get into decor. Also, I have to mention this. We have an EP baby. We have an EP kitty off in the corner. The cutest thing in the world. Okay. So, let's go to decor. Let's pull out bedroom inspo. Sure. My kind of ever evolving bedroom inspo. I need to change the title of that. But, okay. So, you've saved all of these images. This is how, which love, by the way, love this board. This is how, like, you want whatever such and such room you want it to look like. Very easily do, and you can do this for fashion, which I didn't mention. You can take all these, put them into Canva, how they have all their extra little bits and details, and they put it together, and you can really want to. I personally don't do that. I know some people that do, but it's common theme. So a big mirror kind of house plants, like making it kind of she with all of the above, having like super cozy. So I started kind of slowly evolving and getting more and so slightly like I'm filling walls. I'm and about I do work like stuff saved ever on looking into your kind of a lot of this style table. We have such and such budget saved, whatever. Let's go ahead, let's make this, let's thrift this, let's get this. And then you're kind of like kind of goal that I'm looking into is a nightstand and then maybe a new mirror or something. Little details, okay, so I like cat fits and then go into whatever. Um, but yeah, that's kind of decor. And then if you the description linked down there, feel free to come check out any of these boards. But the last one that we're gonna kind of get into is food. Okay, so we are hold up, you guys. Oh, yeah, we're on the last one, which is food. So let's just get into fall summer 2026. So you have saved all of these. Don't mind that one. That's not supposed to be in here. Some of these aren't supposed to be in here. But you have all these recipes saved. What do? Well, the first thing you have to do is you got to go through each of the recipes and make sure that there is a way to access the recipe. Some of these are posted in here. I will say 100% do not always have a link to a website or stuff like that. So then you need to go and make sure that everything has a way to get a recipe from it. Whether you have to search that up somewhere, go somewhere else. Just making sure everything has a recipe. And then you categorize it. Same thing. I don't have much saved in here actually. I should probably save some more. Like I could go in here. This is like what I mean when I also said like more ideas that'll pop up too. Um, but yeah, like going in and categorizing it, okay, this is like Asian, this is Japanese, this is Mexican, this is a sandwich, this is a soup, and then kind of figuring out how your kind of meal planning and menu works and like, okay, I want a soup for this day. And then you would go through and you'd be like, oh, well, I have like 4 or 5 soups in this board. Let's just pick one and roll with it. Or, oh, I have 3 or 4 sandwiches here. And then you pick one and you roll with it. And it's that simple. It is exactly that simple. You go through all the recipes you have, you see what they are, what they're for, and you're like, okay, well, I can put this here. And then you just start picking out stuff. And you're like, okay, well, this kind of sounds good, but I'm not like a honey mustard fan because I'm not. Okay, well, what if we swapped out the sauce? Could we do something else? And then you would go through and kind of do all that, but that's kind of my approach that I take when going through my food boards. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. I hope that you found this useful. I tried to like kind of give you guys enough tips to get you guys started. You really kind of want to just like On certain boards that you can look for basics, look for staples, look for kind of groupings, categories, like what's coming up the most, and just kind of start off, and then you can start adding and building and doing all of the things. And yeah, I also want to tell you guys that I have been thrifting quite a lot. I've been getting a few pieces kind of here and there, and I'm also actively making pieces, because if you haven't seen on my Instagram, definitely go and look on my main Instagram and then on the fashion Instagram. I've been making clothes like crazy, we're knitting like crazy, and I got a bunch of fabric that we're gonna be making stuff out of. But I'm going to kind of be making in the next video some more styling videos, because I got some pieces that we really need to figure out. How do I do this? Where does this go? What can I do? What needs to happen? But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below that you guys kind of like this. If you want some more like in-depth kind of tips, like what am I doing, help, you can leave those down below, and I can make a whole like separate video kind of answering all of your guys' questions and stuff like that. Also, link in the description, I mentioned earlier. Go follow me on Twitch, because twice a week I am streaming all things crafty and all the things, and I would love to have you guys from YouTube kind of come over there and hang out with me, do some body doubling and some crafting. Link in the description too is going to be everything. All of my socials are down there. The Pinterest is down there. My Spotify should also be down there. It is all down there. Go check out all the things, because I am everywhere doing everything. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good Pride Month, and a good year, a good day, and a good week. Remember, take some time for yourself if you need it, and if you can, go do something for yourself. I will catch you guys later, and good